Hello and welcome to the lecture series on monetary economics. In the previous classes, we have seen important commercial banks in India, and in the segue of the same, today I have for you the regional rural banks or RRBs. So let's get started. The regional rural banks are the newest form of banks set up in the country on the sponsorship given by the public sector banks or commercial public sector banks. So this was the idea, to set up the regional rural banks only on the sponsorship from a commercial bank, and that commercial bank is usually a public sector bank. We will see what is the combination of shares with respect to a regional rural bank in the following lecture, but this is how the idea of regional rural banks evolved, that is on the basis of sponsorship from commercial banks in India, public sector banks in India to be very precise, commercial public sector banks. Furthermore, RRBs have been set up with the objective of development of rural economy by providing credit as well as services to agriculture and other productive activities. So therefore, this was the main objective of setting up a regional rural bank, that is to make sure that credit as well as other banking services should reach to agriculture and other productive activities in the rural economy. So here we are looking at a banking setup which was specially catering to segment of a society, which is the rural segment, particularly to agriculture and other productive activities in the rural segment. So this is how you can look at the aim or objective of regional rural banks. Furthermore, when you look at the objective of regional rural banks, the objective is not only to cater to agriculture and productive activities, but in a very brief sense, it is in terms of agriculture, it is catering to small and marginal farmers. In terms of agriculture, it is also catering to the laborers. In terms of agriculture, it is also supplementing the allied activities. For example, rural artisans, for example, I am good at making say baskets, and therefore it is also supporting that. Furthermore, it is also supporting certain small entrepreneurs in the rural economy, meaning thereby the ones who have allied businesses or agricultural and allied activities. Yeah, so for example, say fishery or say poultry or for that matter dairy and all of that. So this is how you can look at the objective in a very comprehensive sense. Here I am only using agriculture and other productive activities, but when you break that down, RRBs are catering towards small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, rural artisans as well as small entrepreneurs. So this is how you can look at the main objective of setting up a regional rural bank on the sponsorship of a commercial bank, or to be very precise, a public sector bank. Furthermore, the paid up capital was set at rupees 25 lakhs. Now let us look at how you can break this 25 lakhs up into three different components. For example, three different components, meaning thereby the shareholding of three important entities. Now the 50% of the share in this 25 lakh came from the central government. So 50% of this is coming from the central government. Then you have 1/5, that is 15% coming from the state government, and the remaining 35% is coming from a sponsored commercial bank, and that sponsored commercial bank is always a public sector bank. So this is how you can look at the paid up capital or the shares of different entities in a regional rural bank. So 50% is coming from central government, then we have 15% coming from the corresponding state governments, and the remaining 35% is coming from a sponsored commercial bank, and that sponsored commercial bank is usually a public sector bank. So this is how you can look at the evolution of regional rural banks in the Indian context. So now, before going towards the features of the same, I hope the idea is pretty much clear of what was the underlying objective of setting up a regional rural bank, how it was set up, and what is the share of different entities, that is central government, state government, and the sponsoring bank. So I hope this idea is pretty much clear. Let us now move towards something very important, which is the features of a regional rural bank. So what are the different features of a regional rural bank? Now it is catering to a limited area, that is one important feature, and let us look at what it says. The area of operation of a regional rural bank has been limited to a specified region. This region can be it can be one or more district in a state. So you can see the area of operation is narrowed down primarily to achieve the objective of catering to the rural economy, particularly the agriculture and other productive activities in the rural economy. So this can be one reason why the access or the operation of regional rural bank can be specified to a region or an area, and that area is usually one or more districts in a state. So I hope this point is pretty much clear. The next important feature of a regional rural bank is the lending rate, or the rate at which it is going to give funds. It cannot be higher than the prevailing lending rates of cooperative credit societies in any particular states. So they are on par with the credit society lending rates or cooperative credit society lending rates. So this is again an important feature of regional rural banks, which are specifically targeted towards agricultural and rural development. So I hope this point is pretty much clear. The next point is talking about the salary structure of the employees, and it goes like this: the salary structure of the employees of the regional rural banks has been fixed. It is fixed in such a way that the salary structure of employees of the state government or local authorities, it is on par with them, and therefore you can see that there is incentive for people to work. That means this regional rural bank is also creating employment opportunity for educated youth in the in the rural parts of the country, yeah, because the salary is also handsome. So this is how you can look at the three different features. Now, given the fact that the central government is the highest stakeholder, plus the state the 35% of the stakes are held by commercial or public sector bank, to be very precise, that means a regional rural bank is also a public sector bank. So this is again an important note which you should be remembering, that a regional rural bank is also a public sector bank. So this is how you can look at the regional rural bank in a very primary sense. So please stay tuned. I'll be making more videos with respect to regional rural banks as well as certain concepts in monetary economics. Thank you.